Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. In our first story, a choosing beggar says, "Can you please turn the internet back on?" Let's jump right in. Longtime lurker, first-time poster. So this happened about 10 years back, but it still baffles me every time I think about it. We had lived in our family home all my life, never moved, but saw plenty of people in our street come and go over the years. The house next door to us was owned by a lovely person, but the tenants he would get weren't always the nicest, but we made do since they never really bothered us. One family that did move into that house was a large, noisy family who would always be up at ungodly hours making as much noise as possible. We had spoken to them a few times and they willingly quieted down, which was fine. To soothe everything over, they had invited my family to join them at night just to relax after work and unwind. We thought it was great, they were a lot of fun and seemed genuinely nice. Now, around this time, we were having problems with the internet at our house, dropping in and out, running out of data, the usual. We weren't the only ones in our street to notice it though. Everyone was having the same problem, so we thought it's just some issues with the lines and didn't think much more on it. That was until the next billing cycle. We had just paid the bill ahead of time and knew there should be no issues. Then we got an email a few days later saying our data had been used up and we would have to pay an exorbitant amount per gigabyte. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was overly ridiculous. We checked the usage transactions and found a large amount had been downloaded on a day we knew we weren't home. We routinely made visits to my grandparents on that day, so no one was there to use the internet. Little did we know, the teenagers of the family next door were quite tech-savvy and had managed at some stage to steal not just ours, but most of the street's internet passwords. The only way we found this out, we had started turning our internet off overnight in case it was some of our devices doing automatic updates. This hadn't changed anything with the excessive data usage though, and we were still baffled. That was until one night, we had stayed up watching movies a bit later than usual and decided we should all head to bed and get some sleep. It was about midnight when we turned off the internet for the night. We had all just settled into our beds, put our heads on the pillow when there was a knock on the door. It was the neighbor's kids. They had the audacity to knock on our door at midnight and ask for us to turn our internet back on because they wanted to finish downloading a game for their PlayStation. Needless to say, we flipped the lid and my parents gave them a full lecture on stealing and whatnot, which I hope helped set them on the right path, but I will never know since they moved out very quickly after that. Pro tip, if you're stealing internet, don't tell the people you're stealing from. Story 2, a choosing beggar wants $200,000 of computers for free. I work for a large computer manufacturer and received an interesting email into my inbox about 6 months ago. "Hi, I'm creating animated videos for Justin Bieber, Cardi B, and Drake. We need some new hardware to create this." "Okay, sounds interesting, but I noticed that your email comes from a Gmail account." "Yes, I'm working from home and so here is my business one." The domain went to a holding page. Suspicions are already beginning to rise, let alone it's a Gmail account originally. Taking the responsible course of action, pandemic and all, that it's potentially possible, I spoke to my head office marketing and explained what was being requested and what, if any, marketing potential and exposure it could bring. There are other divisions in the company which could have benefited alongside, so we agreed what we could get in terms of exposure and how much of a discount we were prepared to offer. I went back to them. "So what is it you're looking for?" Here's the list. It came to just short of $200,000, including servers, GPUs, 64 RTX 6000s for a start. Right, we would offer you around a 40% discount, but since none of these products will be seen, and the people that are the target market for this type of music are not likely to be our customer demographic, we are happy to offer you this big discount on the basis that there will be a making of, which we will be able to use, and that we can get some sort of branding into the videos. "Oh, I wasn't expecting to pay for it." So let me get this straight. You are making videos for said artists who all have record deals and are not short of a bob or two, but the record companies don't have the money to buy the equipment needed to make these videos to promote their artists. I am making them myself, and then I'm going to show them to the record companies to see if they will work with us. Think about the publicity and promotion you will get. What? But I've always liked your stuff and thought you would help me. So you want $2,000 worth of stuff on the off chance that you might get more work and that we will get more exposure. If you do get more work, you will already have the equipment that cost you nothing, for which you are then going to charge massive amounts for your services. Yes, but think of the exposure. You want us to gamble $200,000 that you will produce something that a record company might pay for on the promise that there might be future opportunities. Sounds like a win-win for you and not for us. Bye-bye. Story number 3. A free apartment is not acceptable, and neither is a cheap one. I was talking to one of my cousins today about their upcoming kitchen renovations. The entire wall is wet and rotten because the upstairs neighbor had some plumbing issues and a water pipe burst. The landlord offered my cousin free housing for the duration of the renovations, as their kitchen would obviously be unusable and there would be no water or heating for 2 months. The first offer, a 1-bedroom apartment in the same building, rent-free for the duration of the construction. I refuse to take anything smaller than 2 bedrooms. How would I be able to sleep if the kids had the bedroom and my husband was watching TV in the living room? You and your husband take the bedroom and the kids sleep in the living room. No, that's not acceptable. The kids need to have a proper bedroom. Second offer, a 2-bedroom apartment in the building right next to the one they are living in now. Again, rent-free for the duration of the construction. I refuse to move to a different building. I should be allowed to choose an apartment from this building. Well, it's like 5 minutes away and it has 2 bedrooms. Unacceptable. How would the kids feel if they had to move to a different building? I refuse to move to a different building. The landlord has to give me 2-bedroom apartment from my building. Third offer, live anywhere you'd like at your own expense. No! I want to live in my building in a 2-bedroom apartment for free. The landlord can evict someone if they have to, but I want an apartment right here and not some next best thing. I really want to suggest that she keep paying rent normally while living with that rotten wall and get sick because of the mold. I mean, that sounds so much better than temporarily living in a rent-free apartment that isn't absolutely perfect. In our final story, a choosing beggar ruined a potential friendship with me because they offered me a free lift, then demanded money for it. I knew a guy through mutual friends and he seemed alright, although I was never really invested in him, just saw him as a friend of a friend. Anyway, he seemed to really like me and wanted to start a friendship with me, so he asked me to hang out with him in the city last week. We did so. We went out for drinks and had a pretty fun time. Then at close to 11 p.m., I said to him, "Thanks dude, had a fun time, but I have to go get the train home so I don't miss the last one." He was all like, "No way, I'm having so much fun with you, stay a while longer." I would love to, but if I don't leave now, I will miss the last train home and be stuck, so I literally have to go. "Well, where do you live?" "This suburb." Wow, that is a bit of a way out, but you know what? Don't stress. I will give you a lift home tonight, so don't worry. I said that was nice of him and agreed to stay a while longer, and he gave me a lift home an hour later, and I had a great time and thought he might be a new friend. Until the next day when I wake up to this text message. "Liked hanging out with you yesterday, dude. We have to do it again soon. Hey, I just realized that I spent about $10 in petrol driving you home. Can you send it to me through PayPal? Thanks, mate." "Sorry, $10 for what?" "For the petrol I spent driving you home, lol." "You told me the lift was on you in exchange for me agreeing to stay later. You never said anything about me having to pay for it." "Come on, man, you know petrol is expensive. It's just $10, no big deal, hey?" "Lol, true, no big deal, so let's just forget about it." "And we will, as soon as I have the $10. If I had known up front that he would be charging for the lift, I never would have accepted it, and I would have left early to get the train. I obviously refused to pay, and he said that our friendship was now over. Fine by me, mate. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, subscribe and click on the notifications bell. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.